Okay, hello, everyone. My name is Diamond Rivera of Diamond Rivera Films, and you're tuned into a very special episode of Live Discussions with Diamond. And today I have here the one and only DJ Soltrix.
Yo, what's up? How's it
Yeah.
going, Diamond?
Oh man, it's going amazing. I mean, honestly, these past 199 days, I've been able to listen, listen to your many
Who's
mixes in and
who's
out.
counting? Who's counting? Who's counting?
Absolutely, and realizing too is that I mean, if you really think about it, like 200 days, almost going on tomorrow, 200 days, and realizing like, man, you really love this art form so much and give back to the dance community as well as they give back to you. But I mean, honestly, music heals everything, I believe.
Yes, I agree.
You know,
Definitely agree with that.
absolutely. I mean, and honestly, at least before we really get started into things, how have you been doing this, quarantine season thus far?
I've been doing good, man. I mean, it's not too bad. I've been kind of redirecting my time. Obviously, I'm not traveling anymore. Obviously, I'm not doing any DJ gigs.
Mhm.
I'm kind of redirecting that available time now to focus on production work, doing live streams, which I'm learning a lot from
Mhm.
actually. And yeah, just it's trying to stay motivated and productive, and not complaining.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand because I mean, I've realized now, especially during this COVID, and we'll get more into it as well, but realizing shortly that a lot of the artists that we know are really capitalizing and using this online alternative, and it's actually becoming very successful. I mean, for yourself and many other DJs that I'm seeing, that I mean, you're doing so much on the internet. I mean, now you can have when we do go to things that are public or we can have events again in the future, people now can see you in person, but know they can also see you online.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and I think it's a
Yep.
different experience actually having people feel like it's personal for them, and they can be at home and listen to an hour to 2 hour set that you're having.
Or longer.
Yeah, or
last last night was something.
oh my god! And oh man, trust me, I have people here as well telling me, and we're gonna get into this later on about alter egos and things like that. Yeah, we're definitely.
Oh, we're touching that. Okay.
Oh, that's a personal question from my man Kimchi that we're gonna get into. He definitely told me about that. And
All right.
again, honestly, many people call you Soltrix, but a lot of
Yes.
also people know you as David.
Yeah.
And I think today for me it's really special because from the years I've known you, Brown, going around 2015, 2016, my first introduction to you was Bachata. That was when you had the lineup of DJs, and that was my first experience. But seeing you over the years, and at some point working with you at an event, realizing like I love DJ Soltrix as an artist, but I want to get to know David more as the person.
Yeah.
And for me, I think, and like I told you before, also privately, like for me, this is really a celebration of your success thus far as a person from the scene, in a sense, really giving you the recognition you really deserve. Because again, we get so clouded sometimes at one point when we were all at events, all we worry about is having fun. But
Yeah.
sometimes those meaningful conversations that a lot of us artists have upstairs, it means a lot. So actually to have that kind of conversation here, just like getting to know who the person is beyond the stage, beyond the DJing, I think is really important.
Yeah, no. And I appreciate, you doing that and giving that platform for artists to have a voice and be able to speak out and get to know one another, and I think what you're doing is amazing. And I've actually seen some of the interviews that you've done. I think you did DJ Immersive,
Yeah.
my brother, recently. So yeah, man.
No, absolutely. And
Props.
just for me, it's just the people that I feel that have inspired me, or people that I'm meeting and getting to talk to that I feel inspire me. So I mean, it's for me giving that recognition to many artists that I mean, a lot of people would say going to events that you're at, whether you're a DJ, you're really controlling the emotion of the crowd and
Yeah.
realizing that you can actually change someone's day. by going to an event and having awesome music played, and there's people probably have told you like, thank you for DJing tonight, your set was amazing, it made my day, and those moments mean something. So
Yeah.
for me now, I would love to get to understand how your journey to becoming a DJ started before we get really into the Latin side of it, but understanding how did becoming a DJ begin.
Yeah, well, it all started back, I would say, middle school, high school phase. At that age, as a kid, you're not really thinking too hard about what you're gonna do for the rest of your life because you're just in the moment. You have your friends in school and this and that and whatever. So, um, I was a radio listener. I used to listen to the radio and play video games together all the time back in the day. So the radio was like my background music,
Mhm.
and I would always listen to the weekend mix shows on the hit music station down here, the Top 40 station, and I was listening a lot to the Saturday nights of that back then it was called like the X Factory. There's a club out here called the Amphitheater, which is where that radio station would broadcast from.
Yeah.
And I would listen to these DJs and how they mixed, and just because I was into electronic dance music. Like back then it was like Florida breakbeats,
Right.
stuff that you break dance to. You know what I mean? It sounds like freestyle, but it's more
Like go-go?
electronic. Not quite. It's like, think of freestyle music,
Yes.
but like with an electronic twist and some funk, and just it's crazy, man. It's a very unique genre. Not a lot of people know about it. Most of them are people that know about that genre are from Florida or Louisiana, the southeast portion of the US.
Gotcha.
Is where Florida breakbeats really blew up. So after discovering this, and my dad, he had equipment.
Mhm.
He had his own little miniature studio in his house. So I would, as a kid, I would kind of, he would let me play around with it, and he kind of showed me a thing or two, which is why I always give credit to my father, to me discovering my passion, because if it wasn't for those moments, I would have never became a DJ. I don't think, you know what I mean? I would have probably went into something else, like, because I was very interested in computers originally, like computer programming and whatnot. But yeah, just with my dad's music studio and him showing me, a couple things here and there, I started making my own mixes, and from there, that's what started my interest in DJing, and that's how I went. Not professional, just as a hobby, just messing around.
Exactly, because again, like you
Yeah.
said, the influence of like that Florida breakbeat, and just look, you're really now just not focused on the music, but the people behind the music and how they flow things.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that's pretty much how it started, and then from there, it just it went into the Latin thing, which you said we'll get into later.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think it was really important because again, like you said, talking about Florida, I believe you're from the Tampa area, correct?
Yes, sir. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay Rays, man. I mean, me, I've had my experiences in Florida, and just realizing that, especially the South in general, when it comes to music, how influential it's been. Because, like you said, in Florida, the breakbeat, and New Orleans, where I have a lot of family as well, is the Trigger Man beat. So realizing that bounce music, just Florida just has a different vibe for me, and I love it. And realizing that with your dad, but also your music gravitated, your ear really gravitated towards this type of music, and understanding like how do they crossfade into things, how do they do these transitions, because making a song just seem almost endless with loops or etc. And just realizing, like me, I love music, I love understanding the composition of it myself, but
Yeah.
realizing that you said your dad really having that influence and really kind of motivating you and pushing you and giving you that opportunity. I mean, and so really in Florida then, understanding in Tampa, you really felt like you got your start in Tampa. Was it like a grind? Was it kind of a word of mouth thing after a few events you started to get really known in the city?
Yeah, because when I went into the Latin DJing, when I transitioned into Latin, I was, I was in my early 20s. I started going out clubbing and this and that, and I met one of well, there's two paths I took at the same time. I took the nightclub path and then the radio path. The
Mm,
nightclub path, I went up to the promoter for the venue. It was at the time the most prestigious venue in Tampa. It was called the High Park Cafe,
yes.
and I loved the place and I loved the music. I loved the DJs there, and they actually inspired me as well, to become a better Latin DJ. So when I started, going there more often, I connected with a lot of the people there, with the DJs, the promoters, and I became more involved. And through that, I was booked there on a residential basis. So I was playing there every week. Actually, fun fact, that's the first time I met DJ Tigre, Ataca and Alemana
Oh
at Hyde Park
wow.
Cafe. Yeah, that was how me and them met. And yeah, so that was the club path. From there, once I was DJing at that club,
Mhm.
other venues, other promoters wanted to book me. They knew who I was, and that's how my name grew in Tampa, and I started getting booked in a lot of places within my city. And then the radio side, my brother-in-law, he was the program director for La Mega
Oh wow.
in New York City, which was like the biggest Latin radio station. He was there throughout the 90s and the early 2000s,
Mhm.
and he decided to open up a station here in Tampa. Well, they already had the radio station in Tampa going, but he rebranded it and he became the program director for here in Tampa because my sister wanted to be here with the family.
Yeah.
So once he opened up that, he came up to me and said, "Hey, how about, you want to do a mix show on the radio?" And I said, "Oh, damn, hell yeah, I do."
They got like a whole, just like
Yeah, no, I was super excited when he asked me that question. I was like, "Yes," and he wanted to do a Saturday night mix show called Maxima Mundial, which I still have. I still have the recordings on my computer.
ooh,
I still have all of them.
yeah, I know
So
you're gonna put the
yeah, it's a Latin house mix show, so Latin dance. So think of like EDM house
yeah.
music, but straight Latin, like all
Mhm.
Latin house remixes and this and that. And that's actually when the house music was starting to blow up in the scene. That's when Dirty Dutch House came out, and
Mm,
when EDM started to, electro and all that
yeah.
stuff, start those different subgenres of electronica. So that was my first mix show and my first radio uh gig ever. So I was doing the nightclub stuff and then the radio, and
Mhm.
that's kind of, doing both of those things locally is kind of what had me branded here in Tampa Bay.
That's awesome, and
Yeah.
realizing too that your start out of kind of that fun fact of you met Ataka La Mana through that Hyde Park event, and then
Yeah.
having now that La Mega experience, realizing that it's a journey and that you have to work hard because given those opportunities, especially at La Mega, realizing that people are watching and people are listening, and that's really I call it really good pressure, and it's like it really helps mold you because those are the events that people are always listening to. And a question I definitely have is maybe people have asked you this before, but where did the name DJ Soltrix originally?
I get asked that a lot. So it really means nothing. It has no significance, no meaning whatsoever. Soltrix came from a username actually that I was using for AOL. Back in the day, you had to come up with usernames,
Yep.
and you gotta had something that no one had, and I just came up with Soltrix, and I stuck with it ever since. I actually still have my AOL email account open, Soltrix85. I don't check it. There's like now thousands and thousands of emails, but
But
uh,
you have to be honest, many people don't even know about AOL.
hey, exactly. This generation
Yeah.
probably doesn't even know about AOL. So guys, AOL, America Online,
Yeah.
that was the thing back then. That was the first Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, no,
So
absolutely. But even before we keep going, I want you to also know is that we also have real-time comments coming in, and they've been
yeah,
actually flooding. Even Anna Hoekstra, all the way from Australia, well, she's in I believe in Spain right now, if I'm not mistaken, or Germany, even said she loves hearing everyone's origin stories because again, these are the conversations we have upstairs, but this is something getting to know you and understanding that path as well. And I think she said she asked you this when you were in Sydney. She doesn't remember the answer, but at least we got the answer now. And I like
oh
it because it's abstract. It's something
yeah,
that people are gonna say, where did that come from? It's foreign to them. So like, oh, and then I'm sorry, Anna says is she means that pre-MySpace. Yes, that's this is
that pretty much pre MySpace. Yeah. So
yeah.
AOL was first, and then MSN Windows Messenger was
Oh
like
my
next.
god, man.
Hey, do you remember IQ? IQ?
Oh my! You remember
Yeah. Which
Bebo?
one? Which one?
Bebo, Latin hookup, like local hookups. There was.
Face the Jury. You remember Face the
Oh
Jury?
my lord! Don't do this. Don't do
Yo, all those, man. That's when everything started coming up, man. And
yeah,
yeah,
it's just realizing like over the years, especially with technology, now having that opportunity to even do something like this because again,
exactly.
with this COVID, I mean, finding the alternatives just to speak to one another and kind of reminisce. Because to be honest with you, knowing now where you came from and how you started out, and then you said meeting a Takalamana at that point before it really became serious, it was kind of a premonition, like it was a foreshadowment of what was actually to come.
Yeah.
But then now understanding, of course, now we know with La Mega and then also that nightclub, you have the experience. And a question I definitely have is you having both types of experience. What is there a one you really enjoy more, or how are the atmospheres different from like a nightclub?
Versus radio and club.
No, I mean more nightclub and actual like dance event, like a bachata.
Oh,
Yeah,
um, I like both actually. I still have my nightclub side, which I expose every Friday night with last night.
gotcha.
And then I have my social dance side, which I do through the live stream. But if I were, I mean, I can't pick one or the other because the nightclub is what made me as a DJ, and then the social dance I feel is what made me as a producer. You know what I mean? Like I'm more known. Even though I'm a DJ, I feel that if I wasn't a producer, I don't think I would be that known in the dance world. You know what I mean? I'd be a good DJ, whatnot, but I don't think I would be as exposed and out there if it wasn't for the bachata remixes.
Yeah,
So I think that there's a time and a place. Sometimes I'm at a social. I wish I could play club music. And then there's other times I'm at a nightclub. I wish I could, play, my bachata remixes,
yeah,
which, you know what I mean? It's just a mood thing,
yeah.
I'll miss one or the other sometimes, but yeah, most of the time I usually miss the nightclubs because I get booked more now for social events and dance event festivals and all that. So
Okay. And then now we're now more understanding the transition really into the Latin side. And now I really would love to know is how or what was the first social you went to, and how did you really get involved into becoming like a DJ in the dance scene? Was it kind of a club you started going to and it just became gradual?
well, believe it or not, I didn't even know about the dance world if it
Mm,
wasn't for DJ Tigre. He's the guy that kind of broke me in at first.
gotcha.
My first time DJing at a social event was at the Tampa Salsa Bachata Festival. It was the very first one, and yeah, it was an eye opener. I'm like, oh my god, so many people
Yeah.
at a congress. I'm like, what? I didn't even know about this world, and I'm like, man, this is like crazy. So, and then the way everyone was dancing, of course everyone looked so nice, professional. It was classy. It wasn't like the nightclub at all. So I was like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah, the sweatpants, the jeans, sneakers.
yeah, nah, everyone out there dressing nice, dancing nice, looking good, everyone's respectful, guys asking girls, "Hey, can I dance with you?" instead of the bump and grind, that
Yeah.
you see at the nightclubs without saying a word.
Well, I would say, Moni says you got that rump shaker energy.
Yes, she does. Actually, she does.
Man.
But yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and realizing too is that because people have to understand, even though of course a lot of people know you in the dance world, realizing that where you came from, it kind of I would say maybe ease the process in because, like you said, going to a new world like that, in a sense, you're first amazed at the crowd size, you're amazed by the appearance and the style, but now you are playing for a crowd maybe you weren't accustomed to.
Right, exactly. And that became it actually became confusing for me at first, but as my name, kind of grew in the dance scene, I already knew what to play. I mean, I had to play my stuff.
Yeah.
But of course, as I continued DJing more of the social dance events, I started learning, that they like the more modern, urban stuff over the traditional, because in the nightclubs I would play a lot of traditional.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, like, there was subcategories for bachata like that. I would just mix it as I go. So when they were calling them traditional, classic, urban, remix, all this stuff, I was like, I didn't even know there was subgenres like that for bachata. So I was, kind of educated more by doing more of these dance events, because with the dance events, they break everything down just kind of like in a dance class.
Yeah.
So with the music and DJing and all that stuff, I obviously learned a lot through DJing for a lot of these congresses and festival events.
Yeah. And then also understanding, I would love to know is do you remember like the first bachata remixes that you had made and played at
Yeah.
these events?
Yeah, it was back in 2013, 2014. The first one was Coldplay, Clocks.
Oh,
That
wow.
was the very, very first attempt for me for a bachata remix, and that's actually how I discovered the dance world as well. DJ Tigre, or that's what actually pushed me to become more into the remixing side. DJ Tigre was playing that remix at these dance events, and I would see hundreds of people dancing to it, and I'm like, oh my god, maybe there's a market for this, because at the time no one was doing remixes. So
yeah, because I mean, I think that was a big shift because when people were going to bachata events in the earlier days or in the past, in the sense, they were just really Romeo, Prince Royce,
yeah,
JR, if you could find some, like really
Extreme.
Yes, Extreme, like more of the classics. And then you slowly, for me, I would say around 2014, I started hearing, especially New York, because I think New York took the bachata in terms of like the Congress and events a little bit later. I would say maybe. I mean, they probably did it in the past, but then started to hearing remixes and that song specifically, but other songs I started to hear. And I would say for me, as a person who loves music, I noticed it had a certain niche to it, that it was specifically someone doing it this style, and it made sense. And it didn't sound in a way gimmicky. It didn't sound cliche. It just sounded refreshing. And for me, it started turning a lot of the music originals. You started turning, from my opinion, the remixes into better. in a different, and just my honest opinion, this and people don't understand too, is that bachata remixes actually help people who didn't understand bachata or Spanish music, and helped it in more of an easier process, I guess. I started to notice, because there were people from all walks of life, not just the stereotypical Latino culture or the black and brown culture. Now people from all over the world were listening to remixes. And at least before we keep going, Anna has a question here. She says, so you explain how you got into DJing, but how did you get into social dancing? And her other question is, so you didn't dance yet. When did you start DJing at the Congress? Mainly, I would just say is that, and her way of asking is, how, besides becoming a DJ, how did you really get into the dancing part? Because people have also seen you off the the controller in a sec.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of had to learn, it's I already knew how to dance bachata, just
Yeah.
basic step. Back then in the club days, it was just basic step and a
Yes.
turn. That's it. That's all I knew. That's all I knew.
It really is.
I didn't know footwork. I didn't know all that stuff. I mean, even today, I don't really consider myself that great of a social dancer, but I could definitely, I feel I could definitely defend myself well.
Yeah.
Interesting choice of words, right? Defend myself.
No, because you can be. I've seen you at events and side plug. Like I've noticed how many times women try to ask you to dance, but you're like, wait, just hold on 1 minute, because that.
Oh no, well, I'll never say no. I'll never say no.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know. Sometimes, like I see you, like you're in that moment, and then you're like, all right, cool, I got you, and then you get everything, you're set up, and I appreciate that, because many people then feel a little bit more closer to you when they're actually dancing right next to you.
Yeah.
Because again, I think you dance with Anna. She says yes, he is fun to dance with.
Oh, thank you, Anna. Appreciate it. No, I never really took lessons. I had maybe 1 or 2 privates with dance instructors. I became friends, and I would pick up just one thing out of the whole lesson. Like I would just focus on that one move, because obviously, if you take a lesson, you're not gonna remember the whole thing unless you practice it. And me personally, I'm not too focused on dancing. You know what I mean? So when I do take a private, I just try to remember that one thing that I learned out of the whole hour. Just one thing. Let me master this, and then apply it, in the dance field.
No,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, just doing that little by little for the little couple privates I took. I think I took 1 group lesson. I didn't really like it because it's just too many people.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like what helped me, into dancing more and learning. So
and I think too, you said something really important, is that beginning of that relationship with with Rudy. And I would love to know, how did that really kind of flourish? How did that begin, being 2 DJs and learning each other?
Yeah, no. So it was, as I said earlier, it was Hyde Park Cafe.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best. It was the best nightclub back in the day, and DJ Tigre, Ataquen a la Mana, and they were the dance instructors before the night started. So DJ Tigre was there, and we hit it off, man. We became friends, and he he was, at the time, he wasn't a DJ. He was just dancing. So he wanted a DJ lesson from me, and we I went to his house when he was living here in Tampa, and I gave him a DJ lesson. We hooked up, and I started giving him tips and pointers and how to do this, how to do that, how to crossfade, how to mix without using words overlapping, choosing the right moments of the song to mix. We had that little that private, and then from there he started to do opening sets at Hyde Park. So he would open up for me like the first 30 minutes, and then I would go on after him and do the Latin night. So that's pretty much how we linked up. It was through the nightclub, and now he's become a very good DJ. And,
I mean, absolutely. And this is really like a stunning fact for me, knowing that you were really integral in his beginnings of becoming a DJ.
Yeah.
Because like you said it, but I'm like, wait, thinking about it, like, wow, that's amazing, because I do remember Rudy when he was just dancing, and knowing that a person like yourself, that then you two together now collaborating with music. I mean, it was bound to happen. I think it was fate. It was
it definitely was. I mean, we were both at the right place at the right time. I do give a lot of credit to him for breaking me into the scene, and the success that I do have. It all stemmed from him, from the very beginning. It all just kind of flourished from there. So I do owe him a lot of credit, and I thank a lot of thanks as well for breaking me in.
No, absolutely. And now realizing, because you talked about clocks and you talked about Coldplay and that Bachata remix, was there a certain remix that you knew, like, wow, me doing this Bachata remix is starting to gain that attention.
Yeah. It was during the era when I think it was 2015 or 16, around there, where I was releasing Faded, Chivalry is Dead, Invincible. Like that was the moment right there that I started noticing the traction with these remixes. So I went full force because I told myself I'm going to dedicate 1 year of doing just straight bachata remixes. I'm not going to touch anything else. Let's see how it goes. So I focused that year, and those are the remixes that I came out with. And lo and behold, they became bachata remix anthems at these congresses. And I didn't expect it. I did not expect it. So I just continued, man. And I did Hotline Bling after that.
Man, and the way when you're saying the names of the songs, it resonates with me because I'm a filmmaker and I video. I filmed the scene. And you said it correctly about 2015, 2016, because I remember at Bachata, I think it's 2016, I remember you were talking, I was over listening a conversation, I was around you, and you said, you were telling somebody, I'm going to play these new songs I have. And then, started hearing it, and I'm like, I've never heard this way of taking one song and making it totally different. But making it makes sense, And for me, then I remember Hotline Bling. One of my favorites is Pillow Talk. That's one of my.
Oh yeah.
Pillow Talk, because also I think people have to understand that your music selection of how you remix works perfectly with the atmospheres and the vibes of different events. Because I believe that you're very eclectic and unique because you can make a song that's more sultry, more ballady, or you can make it really hype, or you can go right in between. So I think that
that's something that that's kind of like my two sides right there when it comes to remixing. I want to do the hype thing, which is like taking an EDM song and just making it like really high energy, you know what I mean? So my motivation is EDM. So, and I'm DJing at festivals. They're not EDM festivals, but hey, like why not try this? And that's why I created those remixes like Cool, Beautiful Now. Those remixes are stemmed from EDM. I mean, EDM inspiration. So I was like, man, this would probably sound dope at a festival. And then lo and behold, it took off. And I was like, man, okay, well.
Most people would assume from the conversations I've had with people in the past, they assume you would take a Romeo track or a Latin track and just focus there. But I knew when you were the song selections was telling me this perfectly is musically sound. They know music and they're also very experimental. And realizing that with the diverse amount of people that come into these congresses, people of all walks of life, all shades and all colors, realizing that music brings everyone together. And you're seeing, I've seen you at events just look at the crowd and be like, yeah, I got it. Because it's really, that's the thing. A DJ is truly important to a lot of festival events and congresses. But I really loved is that at Tigre, Rudy himself and Island Touch, when they would do events, they really will give a lot of love to you guys as DJs, you guys, females, whomever, and realizing that you all really play a very important part in how the flow of the event goes. Because you go from workshops to performances, then to the social. Most of the time, people at events, they'll go to the shows, but they already got their outfits ready because they want to the night away. And for me, then over the years, because I really started getting into the dance scene in 2015, I started to hear your music more. But then I got a chance to actually do videos. And be honest with you, Dave, I have seen my YouTube library, and I would tell you I have over 50 songs or 50 visuals that I've done with your music.
Oh, wow, nice.
I've looked at it, and it's extensive. And honestly, too, especially when I started seeing that you had the LatinRemixes.com, I, of course, knew I could get it from YouTube, but I would personally go there and purchase the songs because I wanted to get back to you as an artist. But realizing, like, you make great music, and I started noticing I'm doing events and I'm getting booked, but it's just because the song that I'm choosing, which was a lot of the songs that you had, it was just it was endless opportunities because different events I go to, and that's for me as a filmmaker in the scene, because you as a DJ, we have the performers, then we also have the video visual people, and
Yeah.
realizing that we want to make the event look amazing. But what's not better than having your music under that, promoting everyone in return.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that one hand feeds the other. You know what I mean? You have musical content for your video. My music is getting exposed through those videos, so it's kind of like one hand feeds the other. So
yeah, no, it's true, and I think too, I started seeing that people then now were more like, "Can you remix this?" or "Can you remix that?"
all the time.
Yeah, so I know you get endless questions about that, but at least before we go into now the present and understanding experiences and fun times at events, I really want to transition into a segment that I call the randoms, which is 10 questions,
Okay.
about 5 to 10 seconds each. I think only one question is actually dance related. The
Okay.
other are music and different ones. So hopefully in these few seconds we can get to know you a lot better. So let me know when you are ready.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Favorite food?
Pho. That's a quick answer right there.
Oh man, I'm already connected with you. I'm sorry. Number 2, favorite workout song?
Favorite workout song? I don't have a favorite song. I listen to Christian worship music though when I work out.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely something interesting.
Yeah.
Dream vacation destination.
What was that?
A dream vacation destination.
Dream vacation, Dubai.
Okay. What did you want to be at 10 years old?
A baseball player.
Okay. What is your spirit animal?
Spirit animal. Oh man. Oh crap. Eagle.
Okay. Eagle eye.
I like to fly high, you know.
Okay. I respect that. The next one is partner work or footwork?
Partner work.
Okay. What would be your superpower?
Teleportation.
A lot of people have chosen that.
No planes, no airplanes for me. I'll teleport there. I'll see you guys in 2 seconds.
No. The next one would be 3 people that really are very influential to you at this point.
Well, my biggest influential figure now is Armin van Buuren. He's an EDM producer. Yes. He's my biggest influence with music and marketing and everything that he does. My father, for his how do I say it, his way of looking past people's flaws is something that I'm inspired by, and I actually, I love that about him. And my mother for her, her spirituality side.
That's awesome.
So mom, dad, and Armin.
Armin, yeah, because I didn't want to rate it. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But the next one would be: what are 3 bachata songs that you love to play at an event?
Ooh, that are not mine.
It could be yours or not yours.
I definitely like to play Faded, Zoo. Enséñame a Olvidar by Aventura.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, put me on the spot, man. There's so many good songs.
I know.
And Beautiful Now.
Gotcha. Those Beautiful Now and Faded, those are just like memorable ones.
Yeah.
The last one would be: if you were on an island, what are 3 things that you would have with you?
If I'm on an island, 3 things. Oh wow. I would have a pet wolf.
Okay.
Don't ask why. I need to have company.
Yeah, I
feel. Oh man. All right, a pet wolf, a sword, and a lighter.
You know what? You're taking the Bible. I appreciate it, because people were telling me their phones, They were telling me all this electronics, but I was gonna act.
Why? Why would you have your phone?
Where's the
There's no
plug?
signal.
How are you charging your phone?
Yeah, where? Like what?
Absolutely. But honestly, I appreciate you doing this segment because it definitely gives myself and others an idea a little bit more about you and realizing that eagles are your spirit animal. Your dream vacation destination is Dubai. Your favorite food is pho. And that's funny because I think.
Funny.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
But for me,
I got more of these if you want.
I know you do. I know you do because I have people messaging me.
I could go forever if you want. I could go forever with this.
Like you have people messaging me questions to ask you about pho specific. And
okay.
Wow, he is that. He loves pho that much.
I love it. Yes, I go twice, minimum twice, sometimes more, for my pho spot here in Tampa.
My boy Kim Chi actually asks, he's privately messaging me now and saying, if there is no pho after party, was it really a party?
Nope.
There you go.
Nope. every festival, every Congress, at some point, I go and get pho. Some point.
And I think when we do get back into these events, then that should be on the rider contract.
Yep.
In the artist room, you need to have some pho prepared.
You got to have it, man. Like, come on now. Who doesn't like pho?
I mean, I love it living in New York. I love it for any Asian.
Oh, New York's got great pho places too. Like you guys have a bunch.
They do. I mean, I don't eat it a lot because that thing is definitely heavy, but I respect anyone that loves it myself. And now realizing too, like the experiences that you get to have at events. What are some memorable events, like just experiences at events that you've had over the years?
Ooh, definitely Bachata. That was
an experience. That was a crazy.
Let's not even go there.
Yeah. If you weren't there, you don't know.
Oh yeah, no. If you weren't there, you don't know. Yeah, just leave it there. I want to say a lot of the LA events for sure have been memorable for me. LABF, I believe. Bachata in Spain was pretty cool. And then the Sydney Bachata. It's not the Sydney Bachata Festival. It was something else. I forgot what it was, but not the actual official one. It's I forgot the name of it. Okay. But when I went to Sydney, we'll ask. Anna knows it, I'm sure. Okay. She saw me in Sydney, but yeah, it was that for me was very memorable as well. So definitely Sydney, but festival.
No, absolutely. Yep. You know, we got
OG level 100. Hey, what's up, Tigre? That's a man. That's a man right there, man. That's a guy that broke me into the dance world.
No, it's true.
Much respect, brother.
No, man, I definitely love Rudy, especially when I first started to get to know you. It was through a friend of mine's, Brennan Contreras, and you were doing these events in Rhode Island that you would come. And I really loved it too because besides me filming there, I also got to see a DJ like yourself that really was starting to get known, but actually you were inspiring a whole new community of dancers. Because most of the time they would see you at a Congress, but to go to a place like Rhode Island and do events there and engaging that crowd, and me now starting to hear more and more remixes that you're doing, and I'm just saying like, wow, this is evolving now. This is like, you're almost waiting for each week to see, or each month, what song is he going to do next? And because I realized over the years, and I'm saying he's been able to do so much. But what I do love, and I would love for you to speak on, is your ability to collaborate with different artists, different musicians or DJs. And what has that experience been like for you?
It's been a learning experience, actually. I've had good moments, bad moments, and you know, it's all a learning experience, this whole producing thing, you know. It still is, actually. But it's been great. I've worked with Antonio Bliss, the saxophone guy, Melvin War, the guitar guy I use on most of my remixes, Tito. Just being able to work with these guys. I actually prefer now to work with musicians and throw in live instruments onto my remixes now, to give it more of that official sound. You know, and just recently I met up with a guy from Colombia that, you know, he's working on a guitar track for one of my singles coming up. And you know, just being able to collab with different people has been, you know, very cool, man. It's just musicians coming together with the producers and creating magic, you know. So it's been rewarding, a learning experience, and, you know, a couple bad things here and there, slip ups, but
I don't know if we're gonna get into
that's
that.
with everything. That's with everything.
It's understandable. You know what it is? It's more lessons. You're learning your lessons.
Exactly.
It's over the
Exactly.
years, you know, getting over the obstacles. Because again, not everything is just given. Not everything is easy to obtain. Like I could understand too. Over the years, just you're trying out different songs. You're trying. It's a trial and error thing, and realizing what works. Because maybe, like you said, in certain events that you go to, I would assume, especially in Bachata, the vibe is different than going to a social in Houston.
Oh, absolutely.
So, because when we were in DR, you had the people from the country coming, and they're gonna hear some sensual or moderna, but they want to hear the traditional. So to realize that you know how to gauge the crowd is great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, location matters. You know, the crowd obviously matters. You have to. That's one of the most important things as a DJ. You have to read your crowd and see what they like more of and less of. At Bachatu, when I went, obviously it's more of the traditional vibe. You're in DR. You want to hear the, you know, the DR Dominican artists. So I mean, I had to throw in a couple of my remixes here and there, but the majority I went, you know, Dominican and modern urban and, you know, commercial pretty much. So location does matter, and yeah, reading the crowd for sure.
Man, and I tell you this, what I started noticing is over the time, then you started having things like TikTok or Instagram that people now started to use your songs from all over the world and do visuals with them themselves. And that networking really, because for me, I'm really in tune. If I'm in this scene, I want to know everything that's happening. I want to know who's the heavy hitters, who's doing what, who's contributing in some way. And I'm seeing people in India doing your routines with Cornell out there, and I'm seeing people from Europe, and I'm seeing people from Asia now starting to use your music and create their own choreos with it, and just seeing like the beauty in dance and realizing that how much your music really inspires people.
Yeah, no, man, it's a rewarding feeling when people do that, when they take the time to actually create like a little dance routine, or they're doing a video of their workshop demo using one of my tracks. It's very, very rewarding because a lot of time and a lot of hard work is put into these productions, and to see it, you know, to see it be used by other people and be inspired by it is just, it's an incredible feeling. Yeah, there's that's what keeps me going right there. That's what keeps me continuing to produce, continuing to DJ, to continuing to give back to the dance community, because they've given me so much.
Absolutely. And then you even talked about Armin van Buren. And one visual I can tell you that I definitely made for you about a year or two ago was Christmas Days. That was one of my favorite ones.
Oh yeah.
I definitely used that. And it was during Christmas season. So
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you mentioned that, because not a lot of people know about that remix, because obviously I only play it in December. But yeah, Christmas Days by Armin van Buren.
I mean, and then for me, I started seeing what either was Twitter or Instagram. Then the weekend Bachata remixes started coming.
Oh man.
I want you to definitely explain how that all happened.
So when that happened, when the weekend retweeted a post of asking for the remix, he you know, I didn't even know he did that. It took all these dancers from the dancing saying, "Oh, that's Soltrix, Soltrix, Soltrix," and I started getting a lot of tags on Instagram. There was Instagram celebrities making videos or whatever, like, you know, dancing, whatever, and it was a shocker. Not a lot of people know about this, because, you know, I wanted to keep it silent and not keep my hopes up, which I'm kind of glad I did. Yeah. But the weekend's management actually wrote me, and they said that, you know, they want to see about making the remix better. So they sent me the studio a cappella of the weekend, singing often, and you know, we started sending it back and forth, and you know, I have the 2K20 version of Often on my laptop that I haven't released yet to see what they want to do. And yeah, I was emailing the management back and forth, and you know, they loved it. And you know, I'm glad I didn't keep my hopes up, because I'd never heard back from them after that. So, but just to be able to be recognized by an artist like The Weeknd, of something that I created, was just an epic moment for me. I still remember waking up that day in Trinidad. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. Like,
it's true. I mean, it's definitely true. When you have a moment like that, when The Weeknd's management team is in your music, because again, the hard work that you've put in and realizing it's paying off.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes from the artists themselves.
Yeah.
That recognition. And I do hope when we do get back to Congresses, any event that I could do, if you're able to release that, I would love to use that.
Yeah, man. Definitely. I'm still holding on to it to see what happens, but yeah. I'm being patient.
And I'll tell you this, for me, really appreciating your music. My favorite song that I love all of your music, but my favorite song that I've ever used for an event was the Roy Woods and Drake Drama. That's my all time. Like I can't. I have to dance no matter what. That song for me, because of me going to Unity and the experience there, literally like not sleeping and filming, and I was literally listening to that song for 2 days straight.
Wow.
I had to make sure, because just as well as you love music and you love composing and producing, as a video person, for me, it's not just about, let me choose a song that's hot, put it next to some dancers. No, I'm literally learning, watching each step and making sure it sways with the music. And tedious process. But that song specifically for me is one of my all-time favorites. I mean, you have so many here. When you did the Billie Eilish, the Lovely, one I really loved was the Cherry Hill by Russ.
Oh yeah, that's another one that got recognized by the artist. Russ reposted it.
That's to see, like, going through your YouTube and just seeing the endless amount of songs, but seeing your ability to just experiment with different types of sounds.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, I would love to know if you may have a top 5 of bachata festivals that you like love.
I've DJ'd at quite a lot. That's
like just ones that, like, off the top of your head, like, man, I wish I could be there right
now. Okay, Reno Latin Dance Festival is the top of my list right there. That for me is by far the best festival, you know, as far as organization, presentation. The amount of people that go there is insane. Reno's the top of my list. DCBX for sure, DC Bachata Congress. Definitely LABF. What's that? That's 3, right?
Yeah.
Bachata for sure was an epic party bachata mode for me. And 5th one. Who do I give number 5 to? Oh, we'll give it to Bachata.
Okay.
I liked Bachata because it was like a different world out there. Going to Europe, it was pretty cool, and just the amount of dancers that are there is insane. Like I was so shocked.
It was like, I've heard a lot about Bachata, and just see, like, it said it's huge. This isn't just like an event you've gone to locally for like 3 days. This is a huge event with many dancers, and for me too. Realizing you've done the stuff with The Weeknd. I mean, see, even the songs you've covered with the Ed Sheeran, the Justin Bieber. One of my favorites too was Antidote. That was
Antidote.
Yeah, you know, and that's like going 4 years back. And
that's an oldie.
I remember these songs, and even when they play at events or they play, like now I'm hearing, when I go on YouTube, I'm hearing someone else doing another visual to your music, And it's like, man, it's inspiring because music really does change people's emotions, and realizing now it helps with the transition of understanding, there was a time when you were right now you could be at a Congress. Right now you probably have maybe come back from a Congress or at a Congress right now, and realizing that over the past almost 6, 7 months, or maybe 8 months, close to maybe, with this quarantine and everything with COVID, it's really changed our routine immensely because, again, this virus attacks people, especially when it's close knit. And
Yep.
realizing that, over these past 6 months, really, you've seen things really close down, and now it's still having artists like yourself now take the initiative and say, I'm gonna take this unfortunate situation that we're all going through and now give back with music. And I really want to know, how did that idea come about when COVID happened and you started this, live stream sessions that's going on tomorrow, 200 days?
Yeah. I still can't believe it. 200, Jesus. um, yeah, that's it's something actually before COVID that I was doing already. I don't know why. I feel something was placed in my heart to do live streams already. Like back then, it was before COVID. I was doing like a once a week type of stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just once COVID hit, I was like, okay, well, I already know how to stream. I figured it out. Why not just, I can't DJ and travel and do what I love. So I'm just gonna, just do it through the stream, through YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and figure it out and learn. Because streaming is definitely a learning process. You learn, formatting video, taking PNG files, putting logos there, and doing all that stuff. So while I'm DJing, I'm actually not just doing music now. I'm focused on the video screen behind me, so I'm VJing and DJing, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But but like yeah, man, it's something that we're all in this together. We're all going through this whole situation. So I figured, instead of complaining and moping around about it, let's be constructive and positive and do something. So let's redirect all these negative emotions and into a positive aspect, and just do these live streams, because I'm noticing that the people love it, I love it, and we just feed off each other during these streams, and it helps people go through their day. Music, as you said, heals everything. So for me, doing these live streams is in an aspect healing people in a way. You know what I mean? Because they're not focused about today's problems or tomorrow's troubles or what to expect during that moment. You know what I mean? So that's part of why I love to DJ and why I love to give back to the listeners and dance communities.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that answer because, again, I do say, music does heal everything. And realizing that over this time, now almost day 200 of your, Bachata quarantine specials. I believe you call them Bachata virus, or this
Bachata, yeah, hashtag.
Yeah. Virus.
Like, don't even think of the COVID. Just think of the Bachata virus. Yes. No, just kidding.
I like that. But then also, coming from a question that somebody has, my boy Kimchi says, you now have, as I've been hearing, you have alter egos in your DJing, and he asks, which one of your DJ egos or alter egos you enjoy putting on during your live streams the most?
Okay, so I have 5 alter egos.
Oh,
no, and this is purely for entertainment purposes. Yeah, I'm like, I've been doing this for so long. Let's spice up the show now and have these alter ego characters. So number 1 is Swagtrix. Swagtrix is he's kind of like the like, he doesn't care what anybody thinks of him or whatever. He's kind of like a big celebrity persona type, where he's like, he's to put it simply, he's an asshole. but
Yeah.
he tries to he tries to act swaggy, you know, like cool and hip, but he just comes off as an asshole. And you know, he's just a very negative, like just don't give a care
Yeah.
about anything in the world but himself, and he thinks he's like the best thing for everybody. So he's like egocentric, very gangster, and
Yeah.
that's what he is. That's what he is.
Okay,
He's very ignorant. So that's Swag Tricks. We have Tiny Tricks. Tiny Tricks is basically I shrink my webcam to make myself look smaller, and then I raise the pitch on the mic, and I sound like a mini me, and I just go crazy on as Tiny Tricks. We also have who else? Classy Tricks, which is kind of like the guy that shows up on Wine Down Wednesday now. He's kind of like a dressed up white guy, glasses, very classy, very fancy, you know what I mean? Like he holds the pinky up when he drinks his wine. He's not hip at all. He's super like white rich guy persona, like very like that.
Yep, like uppity.
Yeah. And then DJ Erotrix is number 4. He's basically a porn star, pretty much. He's very erotic, very sexy sounding, talking a deep voice, and and he's something else, man. Ladies love him.
I mean, as the comments are showing, they do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's popular with the ladies. Erotrix.
Yes.
Swag Tricks is popular with the gentlemen.
Gotcha. I mean, I appreciated that you could have these different personas.
Strictly,
Up
and then number 5 is Meow Tricks. He's I basically put on this cat mask that I bought from Walgreens, and I meow the whole time.
Okay. I mean, you must get very different reactions from each set that you do with each character.
Oh my gosh. If you were to tune in last night during the Meow Tricks portion, you would be like, this guy's on drugs. He's drunk. Something's wrong with Soltrix tonight. What the hell is he doing? Like, but no, man, it's just people love it. So I give it to them.
Okay. And it's funny too, is that you can have that fun and just, you're still doing the same process, but then you're just creating these alter egos that just put you in a different mood and environment. I would definitely love to ask, because I mean, all of us as adults, and we dance and we party. What is your like go-to drink if you had one?
Alcohol or regular?
It can be like if you're at an event, something you're gonna grab. Because one of my Kimchi also has a question about soju. I don't know if you know about soju.
Soju, no.
No, he said that I guess it's some Korean alcohol, but he's saying what kind of drink really gets Soltrix like in the mood during parties and events?
Well, there's multiple answers to that. Number 1, my favorite daytime drink, like just chill drink, is kombucha.
Okay.
Like, I love that stuff. For nighttime, my favorite white liquor is gin.
Okay.
That's my go-to. Gunpowder Irish gin is actually my most favorite. As far as dark liquor, I'm definitely a whiskey guy. I do like Woodford Reserve.
Okay.
That's my my go-to bourbon. And gin, whiskey, beer. My favorite all-time beer. Not a lot of people know this beer. Is La Fin du Monde, which is what I had last night. And it's a triple style Belgian ale. It's so good, man. But it's my all-time favorite beer is that. And yeah, those are my go-to drinks. As far as wine, I don't like white wine. I stick to the reds.
Oh man,
cabs.
Even here saying you gotta. I guess soju is popular because you got people telling you to try soju if you like to have.
Is that like what is it, like sake, like a Korean sake?
I think in that same realm. It's around.
Oh, okay. I never had it. Yeah, I'd have to give it a shot.
No, definitely. But just again, like understanding kind of when you're at events, if you have some drinks, what are kind of your like go-to drinks. And for me, realizing, especially during this quarantine, especially these congresses and festivals that I've missed so much, Because again, I'm thankful that we can have the opportunity to still have your music playing in some form of fashion. But
Yeah.
even people here asking, so when is it going to happen when someone's going to ask for the alter egos at Congress?
Oh God, I don't know, man.
Are you
'Cause
going to? Hopefully, you won't have to retire.
hopefully, I won't be asked because the people that are tuning into the streams are like maybe a handful of people from different cities. So not everyone's gonna know these alter egos. They're gonna be like, "What the hell is Soltrix doing?" So they're not gonna get it if I come out at a Congress and do an alter ego impression. So
Yeah.
I hope no one asks me. I mean, if we do like a private hotel party before my set, I could do it, you know, like, but during a live set, I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's see how popular it gets. You know?
But really, I would love to know is really what has been the biggest takeaway from now kind of adapting to a new normal in a sense and doing this online alternative, and what do you really are seeing for your future as a DJ in the dance scene?
That's a great question actually, because throughout these 5 years, 6 years throughout my career, I just been kind of riding the wave.
Yeah.
I haven't really set any goals as far as in the dance world. I do know that I really want to push out more singles and put more music out on Spotify, iTunes, and those mainstream platforms to try to reach past the dance world, because I believe I've already kind of made my stamp already here in the dance community, and I want to be able to reach others now through what I do. So yeah, I honestly, the first question you have asked me that I don't have an answer for because I haven't.
I really understand because again, too, I appreciate that you can say that even though you're in this dance scene, that you have definitely laid your mark, but people also have to understand that you are a DJ, not just a Latin DJ, but a DJ. And even people here saying maybe EDM is next, maybe going into
Yeah,
and
EDM.
yeah.
EDM is definitely my biggest passion. I've already been toying around with it and taking lessons online through Armin actually.
Wow.
And yeah, he has a master class, not one-on-one.
Oh yeah,
live. Yeah, his master class. But it's been something that's teaching me not just for EDM purposes, but for production purposes, because I'm learning things that I could apply to bachata remixes as well.
Gotcha.
So the end of the world of production is truly endless. It's literally like the universe. There's no end to it. With production, it's the same thing. There's really no limits to what you could do to the content, the type of content that you could create, as long as you can envision it in your mind and bring it to life. Absolutely. So that's where I'm at right now. But let's see. Maybe I can release a house song in a different alias before the end of the year.
I'll definitely be able. I would definitely would love to hear that. And again, I've definitely appreciated your time tonight and realizing just the journey of what you've been through and realizing that how many people you've been able to inspire. The events that you've been able to go to truly is because people appreciate your contribution. They value your service because they realize that you're one of the many DJs that's able to just captivate the audience and just put them in they're able to escape their own reality and come into a safe space where they can basically just dance all night.
Yeah.
And to your music, to the music that you took hours to compose and produce, from the musicians that are behind in the backgrounds with their guitars or saxophones or what have you, and realizing that people really love your music because even when you're not at a physical event, your music is still being played.
Yeah. No, and you have no idea how rewarding that is for me. That's something that I don't know what else to say besides I'm truly blessed by that. And the reception that I've been getting from dancers and instructors and videographers like yourself, and it's truly motivating and inspiring me to push myself even more. So it's something I thank everybody for all the time, man. Like if there's not enough thank yous I can I can give,
Nah,
just
no
to
worries.
really express the gratitude that I have for all of you guys.
Absolutely.
That,
I think really the appreciation you give back to us is just the music you make. I mean,
yeah,
the fact that you keep making music no matter the climate, no matter the atmosphere, no matter what we're all going through, music is still inspiring you to make more music. You know,
yeah.
honestly, it's been awesome just to have you on tonight. And I would love to know before we really kind of close out of things is what advice would you give to DJs coming up, whether they be in the Latin scene, EDM, or etc. What advice would you really give to the new musicians that are coming out nowadays?
Well, the best advice is the advice that I learned or picked up from Armin van Buren. Be unique, develop your own style, and you know, don't be afraid to explore and go past boundaries. Because for me, bachata remixes was a boundary
Yeah.
that back then I wasn't too crazy about going through, because I'm like, English bachata, like, because I have the Latin background in me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this ain't really gonna do anything. So by pushing that boundary and noticing, and thanks to DJ Tigre for giving me the vision, I went ahead and busted that wall down and just came out with all these remixes, and um, went from there. But as far as, yeah, that has to be the best advice I could give any DJ, anyone that's trying to get into production or anything like that. Be unique, develop your own style. Don't try to sound like anybody else. Don't try to copy anybody. Be inspired, but don't copy. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be noticed. You're gonna be out, as somebody that's unique. So yeah, just do your own thing, man, and try to be, as original as possible with your DJ sets and your production.
Absolutely. I mean, coming from a DJ like yourself that has that experience and realizing even now taking these master classes with Armin van Buren, realizing that to be unique, only those two words or they speak volumes, and realizing that those two words are really going to help the generations that go forward. Because again, you don't want to sound, you can be inspired, but you don't want to sound exactly like the person you're listening to.
Exactly, because what's that going to do for you? You're noticeably copying someone, and it's not good. You want to be your own person, your own style, pretty much.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Absolutely. And I think too, for me, I can say listening to your music, I think in the shortest way possible, you're able to create a world within a song that wasn't seen before, in
Yes.
my opinion, because you can take a song, like you said, English bachata remixes. And like you said, at one point, you weren't feeling it, or it wasn't something you thought would gain traction.
Right.
And realizing you had to take it, you had to take yourself out of the situation and say, what is the audience feeling? Because I think that's a big disparity between DJs that just focus solely on what they want to play, but also DJs that also focus on the crowd.
Exactly. So, and yeah, I was struggling with that because I already knew what the crowd wanted, but the nightclub crowd, the
Yeah,
social dance crowd, I wasn't introduced yet. So once I DJ'd my first social congress event, I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. I like the vibe, the classy vibe with everybody, just being respectful towards each other. Everyone's cool, I like that. So I wanted to be a part of it.
yeah,
And through DJing and production, I was able to do that. And luckily, not just in Tampa. I was able to explore other cities and other countries and other continents, and it's a rewarding, truly is a rewarding thing. It's I have I can't express the
no, I,
gratitude I have, because this was a 16-year-old kid's dream
yeah,
to be able to travel and DJ the world. Even though it's not EDM, it's still something that I developed a passion for, which
yeah,
is the bachata remixes that I'm able to share with dance communities worldwide.
Absolutely, and realizing that people also have to understand that you're so much more than just a bachata DJ. You're a DJ overall. You're also a VJ. You also know how to MC and control every aspect. So
Yes.
again, it's being able to have this interview here, this discussion is amazing because we get to just sit down and have a comfortable space where we're just feeding off one another. Me showing you the appreciation of all the hard work that you've done and I've seen and many others have seen from you, and just being able to really, in a sense, celebrate your success from the past, present, but also the future. You know,
Yeah.
and realizing that your music means more to people like me and others than you know. And maybe it's not always easy to express the gratitude, but I know talking with you, having conversations with you, how much you do appreciate all of the inspiration you've been giving people, but realizing that you still have more to go. It doesn't stop here.
Yeah.
So
No,
again,
yeah.
honestly, it's been amazing to be able to have this time to actually just kind of sit down and talk, because again, I wanted people, and I know people got a better understanding of not just DJ Soltrix but David.
Yeah.
And that's really what's more important to me, because I always realized beyond the performer or the DJ, there was a person behind that who had feelings, who had emotions, who had things they loved to do, who've been through many experiences. So being able to have this platform and to have you and take your time out, because also me and you have an event tonight. So
That's right. That's right. Baila cura.
so I mean, me doing another panel and you doing a set, it means a lot. Being able to now work again alongside you, in a sense, at an event that's now virtual, and realizing that I want to have that longevity just as much as you're having. And again, I appreciate you being able to come on tonight.
No, man, thanks for having me, and thanks for creating this platform for artists and dancers to speak out, and give them the opportunity for others to get to know themselves. So yeah, no, man, keep doing what you're doing.
No, absolutely. I tell many of my guests this is our first interview, but I would love to have you on in the future later this year to get more insight on what you've been doing after, especially today, and all of the events you may have in the future. Because it's always good to really check up on the guests that we've had in the past. But again,
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely,
really,
absolutely. Let me know, and I'll be here again, man.
Absolutely, man. I thank you, because
hopefully the next time COVID will be, this whole COVID thing will be gone.
Absolutely. But, again, I appreciate the sets you've done. At least before we go I would love for you, if you can give myself, but also the audience, contact information on how they can reach you, on what new events you have upcoming.
Yeah, the best way to reach me, Instagram. I use that more than Facebook. You can follow me at DJ Soltrix if you'd like to send a message or comment. And then events, just what you see on the live streams. I'm on YouTube every day from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Bachata Mix Studio Sessions, which is basically a 2-hour Bachata mix show. Wednesday nights, I have Wind Down Wednesdays starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is kind of house, deep house, electronic, dance music. So if you like that kind of stuff, tune in on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock. And then Fridays, I do the Friday Night Latin Club Mix, which is the side of me where most people don't get to hear, is the Latin club, salsa, merengue, all the Latin genres. Basically, how I used to sound back in the day in the nightclubs, and Friday nights we party on, man. So, and that's it. And then Baila Cura tonight, of course, you just mentioned it. We'll be live tonight at 9:30 p.m. If anybody wants to sign up and get tickets, it's bailacura.org. And then tomorrow, the big day, 200.
Hey, 200.
The big day is tomorrow, so we're doing 4 hours stream tomorrow of bachata and some party music in between. So, yep, that about covers it.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just thankful that even through everything, you're working. I mean, you have an event tonight, you have an event tomorrow, and much love and appreciation for all you've done thus far. and the community, even going on a day 200 of this and putting your effort and your time into this, and realizing how many people really appreciate it, from the donations, from the comments, from the feedback. It really all means something. So I'm thankful that our dance community still has an artist like yourself that's still pushing out new content and really reaching the world, not just Tampa, not just the US. So
Right, exactly.
I am thankful that we've been able to meet, and I've known you for many years, and now having a platform that I can bring you on and just celebrate your success. So it's everything was great tonight. I appreciated everything, and I thank you so much for coming on.
No, man, thank you so much, man. It was my pleasure. And thank you for the questions, and everybody that tuned in, thank you so much. And yeah.
Absolutely, man. And I want the audience, and I want you as well, David, to stay safe. Day 200, I will be checking that out tomorrow. Please check that out, as well as tonight, Baila Cura at 9:30 with DJ Soltrix. Definitely can't wait for that as well, right after my interview, my panel. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, David. Stay safe, and we will definitely be seeing each other in the future.
Definitely, bro. I'll see you tonight.
See you, my brother.